All right, so as I was saying, we're in a time that it's crucial to keep aligning with our center, with our core, with love, with compassion, with justice, and that we rise up and act out of that place. So I want to just show you. Some of you have seen this before. It's an old toy. It's a little bit broken even, but it's kind of like life. We're a little old, we're a little broken, and we need to shake stuff up, dig everything up from the trenches so that we can actually see clearly what's going on and what needs to be changed, right? So here, this is our longtime cellular toy. And I'd like you just to look at this for a moment as you sit in your seat. And we're going to be playing with this throughout our practice together. And what it is that we're going to be playing with is this return to being, a return to I exist, I am, a return to the deepest and most foundational breath in our body, which is that of the cells. So you are made up of trillions of cells. Anywhere you go in your body, you will eventually, once you meet and greet the qualities and traits of that particular body part or system, you will move in to the vibrating field of cells. Every cell in your body is awake, alive, vibrant, radiant, intelligent. Every single cell knows who they are and what they're here to do and how to execute the clear, effective communication. And every single cell is breathing. This is your most foundational and deepest breath. Just like this toy here, every single cell in your body, and try to feel this with me. So rather than just listening to something I'm saying, try to really feel it in your body. Listen and look from the cells of your body. Every single cell is inhaling, expanding, exhaling, condensing. Every single cell is wise enough to know what to take in, nutrients to absorb, and to release waste. And when we rest our awareness in this foundational layer of our existence, we can tap into a place that is inherently peaceful, is inherently filled with the element of both space and fluidity. And every cell has evolved originally out of the single cell. That single cell that was created when the sperm and egg came together and sat in unity. So there is a remembrance of unity and wholeness through every single cell in your body. And in this remembrance of unity and wholeness, we can rest, we can breathe from, we can act from, and we can help to bring it forward in this great, incredible time of change and evolution and revolution. So just another moment or two, letting your awareness drop in to every single cell that is breathing. It's almost like if you watch, this was really the first time I really got it. I was learning about cellular respiration about 16 years ago, and I was watching my infant son sleep. He was really little. He was maybe like 3 months. And I watched, and literally I could see the cellular breath because his whole body was vibrating. His whole body, I was able to perceive by just looking with soft eyes, every single cell participating. That's how I really came to understand the cellular breath first. And then I felt it in my own body. But it was first by watching. Sometimes if you watch an animal sleep, similar. I see it with my dog too. Good. So we'll play with this as we practice together. And for a moment here, we'll stay in our seat. Not a moment, a little bit longer. We'll stay in our seat. So we can tune in through the power of sound and also the power of intention. So if it resonates with you, go ahead and draw your hands into Anjali Mudra. And I invite you to create a sankalpa for yourself. If I said to you, what aspiration or intention or mantra would help you to remain steady, centered, and deep within yourself, what would it be? So that could help you to find a sankalpa. A sankalpa is a spiritual resolution or intention that as you go through all the different emotions and feelings and relived traumas, this is happening a lot for a lot of people. As we go through all of the waves of what's coming and going, what mantra, what positive I am statement, what sankalpa could help you return to this foundational layer inside yourself so that you can act and live and think and be in a more clear place. So sometimes an example could be, I trust the unfolding evolution of love, or I participate in hope, courage, and justice. It can be anything. It can be any language, something that speaks to your heart. So take a moment with your hands in Anjali Mudra, allowing a slight settling of your brain, bowing to your heart resting, but keep your spine elongated. And whatever sankalpa arises for you, or perhaps you're just waiting in the empty space to receive one, it's fine no matter what. Whatever it is, if something arises, go ahead and repeat it to yourself with clarity 3 times. And you'll hold the sankalpa in the cup of your hands, in the middle of your heart, and in the center of every single cell in your body. So throughout your practice, throughout your day, throughout the days and the weeks and the months and the years to come, you can return to this place, this ground of being inside of you. So holding that, keeping that, grounding your awareness into that. Let's chant Om 3 times and the peace mantra. Exhaling your breath all the way to empty and inhaling to begin. Sahanav avatu, sahanau bunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, Tejasvina vaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, may all beings everywhere be protected. May all beings everywhere be nourished. May we all beings, no matter what side one identifies with, may all beings open their hearts, their cells, their minds to work together powerfully. May our practices and studies together illuminate the way forward. And may we learn to not oppose each other. May we find a unified peace, a unified harmony, a unified love, justice, and equality in the cells of our bodies, within our own body temple that we live in, with each other, and with all beings. So as you're ready, you can release your Anjali Mudra, open your eyes if they were closed. And let's come onto our backs to start to settle in even more to the cellular body within. So come and sit. You're going to want, by the way, take one blanket so you have it for underneath your neck and head. And then keep another blanket and your blocks and your strap near you so they're easy to grab a hold of. And then come and sit up at the top of your mat. And because we're going down to the floor, it's, it can be a little chillier on the floor. So grab an extra sweater or blanket if you need that. Now, before we go to roll down, place your block in between your legs. And as you do that, take your feet so that they're only as wide as your hip joints are wide. And then see if you can bring your awareness into the cells in your feet. Even if you're wearing socks, you bring your awareness there. And then feel how the cells of your feet meet and greet the cells of the mat. And allow there to be a gentle yield and push through your pelvic calves, legs, feet, cells to cells, meeting one another with presence. And then with your block in between your legs, the cells of your inner thighs, your adductors, they're going to move in towards the block and then current upward. So see if you can find that. It's not just a current or a movement of muscular fibers, it's the movement in the cells themselves. So this vibrating field of cells in these things we call adductors, your inner thighs, they're going to gently move into the block and upwards towards your pelvic floor, almost as if you were drawing the block up into you. Now, of course, the movement that comes after cellular respiration, where it grows a little bigger, where the fluids are really moving in and out, throughout, all around all the cells, is sponging. So you gently sponge into your block, drawing it up towards your pelvic floor. Place your hands to the mat. Bear with me. I know this is slow and many of you might be ready to get onto your back, but stay present. That's the invitation of the cells, is to stay present to what is right here, right now. The cells of your hands become present to whatever it is that they're touching, the mat, the blanket, whatever you have under you. Let there be a moment of greeting. And then go ahead and start to gently yield and push your hands down and away from you towards your feet as you start to elongate your spine down. So look for space. There's a lot of space in our bodies. Just like there's tons of water, tons of fluid, at least 75%, there's also tons of space. So find the space as you elongate down. Good. And then from here, just bend your knees a little more so that your tippy fingers could touch your heels. Open your feet a little bit wider than your hips now, just a little bit than your hip joints, so that your knees can angle in, your femur bones can angle in and rest into the block and towards each other. Now just go ahead and place one hand on your navel belly and one hand on your heart. So we're touching in not just to the small intestine through the belly or the heart through the chest, but we're also touching into every single cell that lives within this area. And as we touch into the field of vibration, we're touching in to the energy center that lives behind the navel, the Manipura chakra, and the energy center that lives behind the heart in the spine, the Anahata chakra. And the energies, the vibrating field of the Manipura chakra in the navel that has to do a little bit more with protecting myself can start to communicate with the vibratory field of the heart, which is, how may I protect you? Compassion for others, justice for others. I'll take less so you can have more, right? I'll care for you. So as your hands rest down, there's nothing to do. There's an allowing of presence. So as you start to become aware, as you're resting here, of every single cell in your body expanding and condensing, see if you can rest in it. Rest your awareness. Yes, through the places where the cells of your hands are touching into the vibratory field of cells in the navel area and the heart area, but perhaps also through your whole body. Allow your skin to soften, your tongue and your jaw to soften. Make sure you have enough blanket under your neck and head so that there is space vertically in your cervical spine. Every single cell in your body contains a spark of light that was there when the very first unity happened, when the egg accepted the sperm and the two cells, egg and sperm cells, sat together in unity for 34 hours. And scientists have said they have seen the sparks of light from their union. That spark of light, that unity of Shakti and Shiva, that wholeness of the one lived as you. You were it in those 34 hours of unity. And now every single cell in your body emerged from that single cell unified experience of egg and sperm, Shakti and Shiva. Keep dropping your awareness into that spark of light, that spark of intelligence, that presence of unity and wholeness that is still present within every single cell of your body. Now, if you like, you can keep your hands where they are, or you can either open them out to the sides or take them up overhead. And if they're up overhead, they can be bent at the elbows so that the elbows come out from your shoulders, starting to create an opening through the vibratory field of the Anahata chakra, the heart center, up into the shoulders and the throat. So only do what feels like ease and comfort and peace in your body. Allow the breath through your lungs, breathing diaphragm, ribs, to grow a little bigger. Let it grow from this intelligence of the cellular respiration. So yes, it's the cells in the lungs, in the blood vessels. And it's the cells everywhere throughout your whole body that are being reoxygenated all the time through the circulation of your blood. There is an inherent intelligence, flow, harmony, peace, and comfort within this layer of you. It requires going beyond the thinking mind. So feel what it is to dance with, be with, merge with a 3-part, 3-dimensional lung breath, letting it ripple out from the very cells themselves that are also 3-dimensionally inhaling and exhaling, taking in nutrients and releasing waste, just like that toy that you saw before we tuned in. Your lungs, your cells. Stay soft in your tongue and your jaw. You can even use the Ujjayi pranayama if that helps you to stay with the depth of the 3-part, 3-dimensional lung breath and the depth of the 3-dimensionality of every single cell in your body. And it's a meditation, you know, it's a practice of dharana, concentration, which leads to an experience of dhyana, meditation. And it's a deep practice unto itself. Stay with it another minute or so. It's okay to use the visualization at first to create an image in your brain, but then eventually it's just the cells becoming aware of themselves. It's the depth of breath expressing itself from the very foundational layer in you and rippling out to the surface, out through all the way through your skin, so that you could see it if you looked with soft eyes. It's helpful to melt your skin, soften your skin, melt your bones and muscles down into the loving arms of Mother Earth. Sensing, feeling, noticing, being with the vibratory field of cells, expanding and condensing. Every cell is filled with cytoplasm, a jelly-like fluid. Every single cell swims in a sea of interstitial fluids, And it's the sea of life. It's the ocean of life in which every cell communicates to each other. And this sea of life holds us all humans, all animals, all plants, all beings. And we can communicate with one another through that sea of intelligence. And it can be peaceful when we awaken to the peace that's inherent in the cells within our body. And go ahead now and count 7 more breaths. So count on your exhale, go from 7 to 0. And when you do arrive at the 0, you'll go ahead and remove your block, draw your legs in, and rock a little bit side to side. Just cradle yourself, rock yourself lovingly, sweetly, and gently. And let the rocking side to side move through your neck and your head so that your whole spine can come into it. And then go ahead and grab your strap. Take your left foot to the earth. Strap the balls of your right foot and extend your leg into Supta Pada Gustasana. Notice the cells of your foot, the balls of your foot starting to meet and greet with presence the strap. So you allow the strap to pull back into your foot and the leg all the way up from the pelvic half. So from the pelvic half, the leg and the foot push into the strap and up towards the sky. If your low back is up for it, let your exhaling breath slide your left leg straight out along the floor and keep the foot flexed so that the cells of the arch of the left foot dome upwards into really what's a pulsation action, pulsating up, doming up like a jellyfish in the arches of both feet. Now, make space through your right side body by sending that right pelvic half away from you. If you know it, you skim down through the right side so as major. Now, softening your shoulders, your upper arms, become aware of the breath that is being breathed in the back of your right leg. So it's not a metaphor. When we say breathe into your back leg, breathe into your tight hamstrings, it's not a metaphor. It's not a pretend thing. It's real. So you do this for real by bringing your awareness into the cells that are awake, alive, and breathing in the back of your right leg, in the actual muscles of the hamstrings back there. Dropping your awareness into the expanding, condensing nature of the cells in the back of your right leg. And while you do that, stay with the expanding, condensing, rise and fall of the lungs, your breathing diaphragm, your ribs. Good. Now, when you're ready, follow your next exhale all the way to empty and curl up. Let the cells of the Manipura chakra, including all of the soft tissues that live in the front belly,
drop towards your back abdominal wall. Stay up here, breathing. If it's too much, just simply lower your neck and head, no problem. Pay attention to the expanding, condensing nature of the cells in the belly center and in the back of your right leg. And when you're ready, release your neck and head. Rebend your left knee. Yield and push through the left pelvic half, leg, and foot into the earth. Hold your strap in your right hand. Scoop your right sitting bone under and then spin the right pelvic half, leg, and foot onto a diagonal so that the toes start to point to the back diagonal corner. And very gently and slowly take the leg out to the side. Try to keep weighted through your left pelvic half. And again, become aware of the cells breathing in the back of the right leg and through the inner right leg, so through the groin area. Keep the cells in your back pelvis rooting to the cells of the earth under you. You could even feel the cells breathing from the earth up through you. Soften again through tongue, jaw, shoulders. Good. Now, draw your leg into your belly pit. Bring the leg up into the center and roll now. So take your strap in the left hand, the straps, both sides of the strap, into your left hand. You can even wrap it around. Now your left foot's on the earth. Roll to the left side of your left foot. Roll to the left side of your left leg and roll to the left side of your body as you spin your belly, soft tissues, your lungs, your ribs, your right arm, neck, and head to the right. Keep your right knee a little bit bent as you feel the cells of your foot yielding and pushing into the strap. And a few times you're going to straighten and bend that leg. See if you can keep your awareness dropping in to the vibratory field of breathing cells in your leg, in your hip, in the whole right side body as you inhale, straighten the leg, pushing into the strap, and exhale, pull the leg, drawing it into your belly pit as you bend it. 3 more times just like that. Straightening, pushing into the strap, and exhale, drawing the leg into the belly pit. Pay attention to the breath being breathed in your cells in your right side body. Good. And then the next time that you draw the leg in, roll to the center again. So the sole of the left foot is returned to the earth. And take the strap off your right foot, hug the right knee into you, curl up and give your knee a kiss. Mwah. I think when times are stressful, when we're being triggered, we need to give more hugs, more kisses, more squeezes, even if it's to yourself, right? Get out a hot water bottle, put it on your belly, and then curl up and kiss your knee. All right, right foot now. Cells of the right foot root into the cells of what's underneath. Strapping your left foot, reaching it up to the sky. Wrapping the straps around your hands. Again, this is a practice of dharana, concentration, which leads to dhyana, meditation, which leads to samyama, which leads to samadhi. So allowing ourselves to actually dissolve into the stream of harmony and oneness and rest in the states of awake, radiant, at one with the beloved. So feel here as the cells of the balls of your foot Pay attention. I know it's a lot. You stay with it. Cells of the balls of the foot rise up to the strap, and the strap resists back in. Make space through the left side body by letting that left pelvic half move away from the left shoulder. Go more central by currenting that left side so as major down. And if you'd like, with an exhaling breath, slowly slide your right leg, foot straight out in front of you. Don't let it go out to the side. Keep it straight out. As you soften your tongue, your jaw, you widen through your chest, you widen through the vibratory field of the Anahata chakra, the energy center of the heart, including the soft tissues and the bones. As you do that, you soften and widen collarbones and shoulders. Bring your awareness into the breath that is being breathed in the cells of your hamstrings, your back leg. Merge your awareness into the breathing cells in your back left leg. Notice how the cells of the left side body might start to shorten. Keep currenting down through the cells of the psoas major, moving that left hip away. And if you would like to add on, follow an exhale to empty, curl up. When you curl up, there's the consciousness of bowing your brain to your heart, maybe even recalling your sankalpa, the spiritual intention or resolution that helps you stay rooted in the essence of your being, the place that is whole within you, that is radiant, that is awake and alive, and can experience peace and comfort. So stay another couple breaths, aware of the dynamics of the lungs, the breathing diaphragm, the ribs, and every single cell in your body. Keep dropping the viscera of your belly towards your back abdominal wall so you stay soft. Good. And when you're ready, uncurl. Rebend your right knee. Let the cells of your right foot meet with presence. This is yield. It's about relationship. And then with the straps in your left hand, scoop the left sitting bone under while you reach your tail towards your right foot, but scoop the left sitting bone under and roll the left pelvic half leg foot externally and start to travel the leg on a diagonal towards your head, towards the back corner. This is hard, that you might shake a little bit. So let the strap retract, pull the strap, retracting it back into your balls of your left foot and keep pushing the balls of your left foot into it again so that the cells meet the cells. Stay down, heavy and weighted through your right side pelvic half. I used to always say, imagine Ganesha, a big elephant is sitting on that right pelvic half. And you can use your hand. You can let the touch, the present touch, the cellular touch of your hand, you don't have to do anything. Right hand just rests down on the right pelvic half. You don't have to push. It's just the presence of the cellular touch. Squeeze your two pubic bones into the disc between them and then bring the leg back up. Hold your strap in the right hand and then roll to the right side of your right foot, roll to the right side of your right leg, right side body, and then roll your belly tissues, lungs, ribs, left arm, neck and head to the left. Big spiral. Be aware of the vibrating, breathing cells in your whole left side body. It's kind of magical when you drop in. It's almost the way the sun, you know, the way it looks when the sun glistens off a body of water and how it's so magical to see the light glistening off the water. It's kind of like that when you can feel your cellular breath, or like on a sunny day when the sun is moving through all the leaves and there's like that dappled light coming through the leaves. Those are two ways I might try to describe how I feel the cellular breath. And I also feel it just literally like a vibrational field that's spiraling in a gentle, expanding, condensing way. Now push into the strap, straightening your leg, and then retract the leg into your belly pit. Draw up through the center of your pelvic floor. And then inhale, push the balls of your foot into the strap, straightening the leg, and then current the leg into the belly pit. Draw up through the pelvic floor. One or two more times, just like that, being aware of the breathing cells in your left side body. And really soften wherever you can through bones and muscles, through organs, even through skin. And the next time you draw the leg in, draw it into the belly pit, lift your pelvic floor, roll into the center. Take your leg up one last time. Good. And then curl it in, remove the strap, curl up and give it a kiss. Mwah. Draw both legs in, roll to one of your sides, and crawl your way around to hands and knees. When you come to hands and knees, notice what it is. Bring your awareness into the cells of your hands and into the cells of knees, shins, and tops of feet as they meet with presence into the earth. And then just as every single cell in your body is expanding and condensing, let's roll through that in a bigger movement. As you inhale, look up, rolling into extension through your spine. And as you exhale, roll through flexion. Move at your own pace. You have your own unique vibration. You have your own unique essence, and people will try to tell you how you should be, what you should think, what you should do. But what's so important in our yoga is to tune in to your unique essence, your unique vibratory field. It's there within your cells. And all of the elements, all the koshas, all the sheaths of awareness exist within each cell. And when you go to the innermost layer of every cell, there is soul presence, or self, capital S. So move through this Vidalasana a few more. Let's go for another minute or two. And I invite you to really tune in to the vibratory field that is unique to you and move in any way that feels right. Maybe you want to bring it into a big circle and roll through a cobra and spin it back into a child's pose. Maybe you want to circle through Vidalasana, the cat rolls. Maybe you're called to bring it into a downward dog. So if you were to say, okay, I surrender to the vibrating field, your unique vibration, your unique rhythm of your cells expanding and condensing, how would you move here? Through the cat rolls, through cobra, bhujangasana, through child's pose, balasana, through downward facing dog. Stay with it. How does your essence call you? How does the vibrating field
call for breath and express movement that is unique and in harmony to your particular being. Be mindful to draw the cells of your pelvic floor up, to draw the cells of the low, deep pelvic belly in. Good. And when you're ready, let it rest in child's pose. So take your time, follow your rhythm, and come up to the tippy fingers as you come into Balasana child's pose. So tippy fingers, the cells of your tippy fingers meet with presence, the cells of the surface they're touching. And the cells in the underarms and armpits, they rise. They rise because they know themselves. The cells know themselves, their own radiance, their own peace. Good. Now, when you're ready, come on back up to hands and knees and grab your blocks. And then slip your right foot up between your hands. Now, this is something we do all the time in yoga asana, right? This low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Bring your awareness to the cells of the right sole of foot. Bring your awareness now to the cells of the top of the left foot. And feel how yield and push becomes something a little bit different when you go at it from the cellular presence. Maybe you can feel that vibrating, expand, condense instead of just a hard yield and push. Maybe you can feel the sponging as the fluids slosh in and out, nourishing every cell. And then curl your back toes under and press back through your heel so that your knee floats up off the floor. Feel the cells of your brain rest down while the cells of your bony skull reach forward. As the cells of your coccyx bone and the coccygeal body or bodies, depending on how many you have, reach back, feel the cells of your pelvic floor rise, especially the coalescing of cells in the diamond, the meeting place in your perineum. There's a lot of cells in the perineum because there's 5 different muscles that meet there. So pulse up in this sponging, sloshing of liquids through the space of the cells. Good. And then lower the knee. Step your right knee back. Turn your blocks to the mid setting. Keep your hands and forearms on them and just glide back again, child's pose. If you want a little bit more Agni, a little more heat, a little more fire, you might try downward dog instead. Wherever you are, settle into 3 breaths and drop your concentration into both the 3-dimensionality of your lungs and the 3-dimensionality of every cell in your body. Re-oxygenating, re-cleansing blood on the layer of the cells. And then when you're ready, you'll make your way back up. Hands to blocks. You'll step your left foot up between your hands now. Become aware of the cells in the sole of the left foot. Remember, all this means is that you become present. It is not a doing, it's a being. Become aware of the cells in the top of your right foot and allow the cellular presence to give rise to a sponging yield and push. Stay with the three-dimensionality of expanding, condensing cells in lungs, in ribs, in breathing diaphragm, cradling, massaging the heart. Curl your back toes under. Exhale, push the heel to the back wall. Again, Ujjayi Pranayam can help. It helps for a number of reasons. It helps because it brings us deeper into the liquid body, which helps to bring us into the cellular body. The Ujjayi helps to get us out of the thinking mind. You cannot think your way into the cells. You can use some imagination and visualization at first, absolutely. But it's really just something to drop into and be with. That's why the longer seated meditation times become very important. But you can feel this all the time, all day long, right? That's the point. We got to practice this all day long. Stay steady in this lunge. Feel the space through your spine, through every cell, on all the layers of your spine, your core. 2 more breaths. How can we stay steady and grounded in peace, love, and compassion? We can. We absolutely can, while still caring, while still acting, while still making change. Good. Now, lower that knee, step the left knee back, and you again come to either Balasana or child's pose. Sorry, Balasana is child's pose. So Balasana or Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. And when you're ready, you follow that exhale all the way to empty. Pause in the empty space. And inhale, come back up. You're going to come into a sphinx. So come all the way to your belly. Bring your elbows so that they're shoulder width apart. And then spin your forearm bones down to the earth, pushing your forearms down and away. Now, it's really important that the space is clear. So look down, make sure your elbows are only shoulder width apart and slightly forward of your shoulders. Really important. Now let the cells of your forearms and palms pause with presence. And from the cellular pause of presence, of being, you might feel that sponging, yielding, pushing of the forearms and hands down and away from you. Stay with the depth of your breath and draw your big toes, legs, feet, pelvic halves, draw it all together and feel the cellular presence of your pubic bones sponging into the cells of the pubic disc between them. Slip the disc into you. Find the cells of the low, deep pelvic belly, and from the cellular layer, undulate the soft tissues of the pelvic belly towards your back pelvis, really. And then same through the navel belly. So all the viscera is made up of cells, right? There's tons of different kinds of cells. So Draw that vibrating field that, yes, is inside of every bit of you. Draw it towards your back abdominal wall. Let there be a meeting of present awareness of soft tissues in the belly towards that back abdominal wall, supporting the vibration of the Manipura chakra. And then bring it up through the spine, through the chest. So don't push your spine forward. Actually, draw your front sternum just into a little bit while you're yielding and pushing your forearms. Stay wide through your collarbones. Lift your manubrium up. Feel your heart cradled and resting in the expanding, condensing nature of your lungs. Open your jaw, lift your jaw joints straight up towards your skull. Lift the base of your skull up. Recede your third eye into you. Good. Now stay right here and inhale, bend your right knee, flex your foot, and exhale it down. Inhale, bend your left knee, flex your foot. Exhale it down. Inhale, bend the right knee, stay very soft through the cells in the back body. Be aware of the breath and the cells in the back body as you go side to side. 2 more times. Take your gaze down at the point between your thumbs. Keep the jaw joints lifting up, base of skull lifting, third eye receding in. Good, and when you even out the 2 sides of bending and releasing the legs, this next time, you're gonna let it go. And then draw yourself out long onto your front body. Bring your forehead to the earth. Bring your arms down by your sides, palms face up. And then interlace your fingers now. Interlace your fingers. Start to feel, you can feel vibration. We're all sensitive to feel vibration. See if you can feel this kind of magnetism through the palms of your hands. There's a field of vibration between the palms of your hands. See if you can let that kind of magnetize and draw your palms closer to each other. And then maybe that might draw your arms a little closer to each other. And maybe when we feel that in our own bodies, maybe we can feel it towards the people we call other. United we stand, divided we fall. This is true in our bodies on the cellular level, and this is true in our relationships in the world. And I know it's easier said than done. But as we return to our inner wholeness and peace, we can help achieve that on the world stage. So feeling the magnetism of your palms being drawn together, slide your hands past your tail. Undulate all the soft tissues of your front body towards your back body, and then float up. Shalabhasana, float everything up. Float up and be held here like the vision of the newborn baby in the cellular breathing, or the little puppy in the cellular breathing. Feel yourself being held up here in this back bend of Shalabhasana by the cellular breath. Keep your gaze down. Don't thrust your chin forward. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. There's being present with love here and now so we can start unfolding into the next moment with presence and love here and now. Good. Now bring your hands by the sides of your chest. Push yourself up, Bhujangasana. Cells of palms meet the earth's body. And then pull back, child's pose. Bring your arms in this version down by your face, down by your side. Make little fists and just curl up a moment. Feel the depth of the Ujjayi Pranayam rippling out from the vibrating field of cells in your whole body. Good. Now, slide long through your spine. Find the spacious reach. Start to reach your crown forward and your tail back behind you. Gather up all the soft tissues of your front body like you're scooping up the most beautiful big bouquet of flowers. And as you reach your crown and tail away from each other and you scoop up the bouquet, come on up, knee standing. Stay present. And then choose one leg. Maybe it's your stronger leg. Step it up. Let the sole of foot, top of other foot become present. And from that present, yield and push, rise up to stand. And come and stand in Tadasana. And as you stand in Tadasana, with your feet either right together or as wide as the hip joints are wide, your choice, can you start to feel what it is to stand with presence? Bring your awareness to the cells of the soles of your feet, meeting and greeting the earth, not trying to change the earth, just meeting with presence. Taking your hands into Anjali Mudra, recalling your Sankalpa that helps to anchor you into the vibrating intelligence and light within you. Ardha Surya Namaskar. Let the inhale bring the expansion as you reach, peek up, cells of pelvic floor rising. Belly pit comes in and up as you exhale and bow. Expansion, wave out, inhale. Condensing, exhale, bow. The cells pour down to meet the earth. Crown and tail reach away from each other. You rise. And exhale, Anjali Mudra, touch your crown, third eye, and heart. Give yourself to the flow of your breath, expanding, reaching, rising, inhale. Lift base of skull, draw belly pit in, exhale, pour. Slide out, inhale, and let it all go, exhale. Present to yourself, present to the earth, yield, push, make space in your core as you rise. And collect in crown, third eye, heart. Keep it moving. It's one circle. It's one life. Reaching. It's a big lila. It's a big play. We have to keep the perspective, right? We're in something that's so much bigger than just us and just, our personal feelings about things. It's the great lila, the big drama of life. Push down, make space in your core so you can see clearly and know how to act in a way that you are a force of love and light in the evolution of the lila. Collect it to the crown, the third eye, the heart. Now more than ever, we need to embody the teachings of yoga, not just think about them and talk about
Inhale, expand, reach into the world around you. Exhale, condense, pull into the inner quietude. Wave out, inhale. Look down when you do that, don't look up. Exhale, bow. Feel all the space that you can possibly find as you reach your crown and tail away from each other, coming all the way up and collecting to the crown, third eye, heart. One more time, just like that. It's one circle. It has no beginning. It has no end, just like the life of your soul. And take it over. Wave out, receive the gift of your inhale. Neck is long. And bow. Soft tissues of the front body undulate towards the back body. Reach your crown and tail away from each other. Float your arms out to the sides and rise. Collect down to your crown, third eye, and heart. Good. Inhale, reach both arms straight up. Let your right hand hold your left wrist. Bend your knees, slide down into a baby Utkatasana. Now push down into the earth. Feel yourself be lifted. And then just pulling up on your left wrist a little, arc to the right. Stay here. Drop your awareness into the breath of your cells and feel the ujjayi in the lungs, in the throat even, this toning of the cells in the throat deepen. Roll through your lungs as if your eyes had, not your eyes, as if your lungs had eyes. Roll your eyes and lungs up. Good, and then come on up. Let go, reach both arms, hands straight up. Exhale, sit down. And in the sitting, let your left hand hold your right wrist. Draw the cells of your low belly in and up. Feel it like a ripple. And then push down, rise, and gently just lift up on the wrist. Make some space in the wrist as you arc to the left. Stay here, breathing. Notice the cells of the soles of your feet. Notice the cells of the spacious right side body. Notice the cells of the condensing left side body. Pulse up through the pelvic floor. Come on up. Let go of your wrists. Reach your arms straight up. Exhale, sit down. Baby Utkatasana, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, slide up through the space in your spine. And then spin right lung, right side body under, left lung, left side body on top. You can stay up in space or come down. Let the spinning happen from the inside out. Go into the place that's not only vibrating, but is also spiralic. Good. Push down, inhale, unspin, reach up. And exhale, sit down. Roll the left side body under, right side body on top. From the inside, spiral to the outside. And then maybe that left arm comes down to your right leg. There's presence of touch between your palms. And if you're down at your leg, between your arm and your leg. Good. When you're ready, inhale, unspin, standing, reaching. And this time, bring your arms out to the sides as you exhale down. And just pause a moment. All throughout the day, we can pause, stand in Tadasana, become present to the cellular breath,
to the earth holding us, to this ground of being within us, to the depth of our breath. And then I'm going to turn to face you. You can face me if you want to, if that's easy. Open your legs up. And anytime we transition, it's a moment again of like, okay, am I still present? And sometimes we're present with a big emotion, right? With a big feeling state. Remember what emotion is. It's energy in motion. So sometimes we pause to be present with a big wave of energy that's in motion going through. And so, okay, let it. So I just want to show you something that I like to do. It's the lion's breath, also called the uh, Kali breath. People call it even the Durga. It could be, there's a lot of names for the one, like with anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit down into Devi, into the goddess squat, and we're going to use the lion's breath with it. And I like this breath because it helps us when we are feeling a big moving wave of whatever it may be. It can help us to let it move through us and then be able to settle into the place of peace and comfort that's in us. And I'm not talking about inaction, by the way. I'm not talking about becoming passive or just being like, oh yeah, everything's fine, it'll get worked out. I'm not talking about that at all. But if we can act and make change from a place of love and truth, from a place of peace and not violence, that's what evolution really is waiting for. Something really radical. All right, so let's move in and out of this Devi, this goddess squat, a few times, and then we'll bring in the lion's breath. So feel present with your feet to the earth. And as you're ready, inhale, reach your arms out, spin them when they get halfway, open and up. And then exhale, bend elbows, sit down into the Devi squat. With presence, sponge, yield, push, and inhale, rise, reach. Exhale, sit. Again, push down, inhale. Exhale, sit. Push down, inhale. Exhale, sit, and stay. I'm going to come closer so you can see the lion's breath. I know many of you know it, so we will do it together. Watch if you're unfamiliar. Okay, come up out of your squat. Maybe you need to swallow. So it's a thrust of the arms, it's a thrust of the tongue out, the eyes roll back. It's about collecting. I feel it as a release of whatever weight is moving through, and then a collecting of the Shakti, of the power of light, creation, manifestation, that kind of prevailing of justice and goodwill, and really the creative manifestation that all arises out of the vibratory field of the cells. Okay, so let's try 2 more. Sit down into your goddess squat. And inhale. Come up. Feel your breath, maybe swallow. Also really helps to open up the cells of the throat. We can get really stuck in our throat, not knowing how to speak our truth. Truth, truth, truth. Not opinions, not judgments, not beliefs, but truth. It also helps to awaken maybe sluggish, sleeping, or stuck cells in the throat. So let's go again. Sitting down. Don't forget to roll your eyes back. It's part of it. Come up, Easy, normal breath. Maybe swallow. Feel what's going on in your throat. Thinking a lot about the throat. I've been spending a lot of time and energy on the throat these days. And when you're ready, one more time, sit down. Last one. Good. Come on up. One thing I forgot to mention, and I just want to say it, so it's really important when you do this at home on your own, and we might need to try one more just to make sure you got it. When we do the thrust back, you don't want to collapse here. So it's not a collapse, because what will happen is you'll cut off the brain stem, right? The brain through the skull is the foramen magnum, and the brain stem comes through there and then becomes the spinal cord within your spine. So you don't want to just drop it back. So let's try one more and see if you can lift up the base of your skull, even in this action of a looking up. Okay, because I want to be sure that you're not collapsing here. All right, let's try one more. So lift up the base of the skull and the jaw joints, just like we do in every posture. Be very mindful not to just collapse at the base of the skull. Inhale. Good. And let it go with the favorite. This is one of my favorites, a little seaweed. So you don't have to stay in the squat. You can feel the cells of your foot meeting with presence to whatever is underneath, and that push from the sponging. And feel yourself as a vibrating creature, as a spiralic creature. Feel how your breath inhales you to the left, maybe even spin it a little, and exhales you to the right. And that you can rest in the magic of breathing, to return to peace, return to comfort, return to steadiness, so that you may be a healing force on this planet. Open your tongue, your jaw. There's no right or wrong, right? I mean, there is in the world. I'm talking about right now. Maybe there's not even right or wrong in the world. Maybe there just is. And it's all part of the Leela. But here in this moment, this is just about moving in a way that is in alignment with your natural vibrational field of expression. Good. And then slowly, without just like coming to a stop, slowly, you'll start to bring yourself with that little inner, like the toy. Don't forget about this. This is here inside of you all the time. Every cell. Bring this beautiful bundle of cells that you are down. And we'll have a seat. I suggest taking a couple folded blankets. I'm starting to like folded blankets better than bolsters, because the bolsters they get really smushy. Let's come into Baddha Konasana. So sitting up nice and high so that the top rim of your pelvis does not drop back. Top rim of your pelvis, and then therefore your whole pelvis is neutral, and therefore your spine can rise up with grace, with space in your core, just to simply be in its integrity, in its space. You are welcome to take blocks under your legs to support Baddha Konasana. In fact, I really recommend it. so that there's not a pulling, there's not a doing of a posture, but there's a resting and a being in the posture. And you can stay upright, or if you want, you can bow. If you feel called to bow, come bow. And resting your awareness into your breath. Within the vibratory layer of cells, we find Satchitananda. Satchitananda. Truth, consciousness, bliss. This is inherent in every cell of your body. Truth, consciousness, bliss. I also call it divine delight instead of bliss. It's not three separate things. It's as if we could blend these words, because that's how it is. Satchitananda, truth, consciousness, bliss. It's one thing, and its presence, and it's your depth, your nature within the essence, the deepest layer of yourself. And now, if you were in the forward bow in Baddha Konasana, come on upright. And when you're ready, exhale your breath all the way to empty. Pause in the empty space. And then receive your inhale, normal, easy breath. Just a little bit of retention. When we work with breath retention, it can also help us to rest in the cellular layer. So now try it again. Exhale your breath all the way to empty. Pause in the empty space as long as you comfortably can. And then let yourself inhale. Normal, easy breathing. Good. And as you're ready, just like we did in the very beginning, but this time there's not a block there. Let the cells of your inner thighs current upwards, drawing the knees together, pelvic floor rising, and you're going to make your way into your Shavasana. You're welcome to do any last movement that your unique essence is calling for, or just settle yourself into Shavasana. So wherever you are in this moment, it's another invitation to rest your body in stillness and to rest your awareness into the cellular body. There is nothing to do, only to rest and be inside this ground of being, this place of peace, intelligence, and radiance. Notice your breath. Notice your very sacred, holy breath. Here, all the time, to help bring you in, to anchor you into truth, into love, into peace, into the radiance of being. And then take your time, gather yourself, make your way onto your side and into your seat. Collect your hands into Anjali Mudra, and if you had a Sankalpa or if one or new one came to you, repeat it to yourself with clarity now 3 times. And let's close with a single chant of Om and 3 chants of Shanti. Exhaling and inhaling. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you all so much for practicing together. It ripples out and helps the evolution of the big whole field that we're a part of.